to the former Energy Secretary of the United States, Rick Perry. Secretary, good to have you. Are you getting a sense from the Biden administration that because of this change on now banning all of Vladimir Putin's oil, when he said he was only open to a partial ban, that he just might pivot on domestic production?
Neil, let me just share with you, that was a really great segment. The American people really needed to hear that economics 101 class, if you will, to understand what's going on. You get more of what you incentivize. It's really that simple. Whether you're a governor or whether you're the president of the United States or whether you're running a company somewhere, if you overtax, overregulate, overlitigate, you're going to get less of that. If you free up the market from the overtaxation, the overregulation, and I'll suggest to you that's what's going on here. The president gets up and says one thing, and then his cabinet goes off and says something not on line with that at all. When you think about the idea that we're going to have electric cars will take care of the gas prices. I mean, that is such a disconnect. My hope is that that Mr. Biden, President Biden, will in fact see the error of his way, will pivot. I don't think the market believes he will. I don't think those around him are getting signals that that's what he's going to do. But the fact is, we have the supply in this country. If we could see from this administration clear evidence that oil and gas companies can make a profit. Listen, and there's nothing wrong with that. The idea that they're not going to go take leases, buy permits that are not going to be profitable, I mean, it makes all the sense in the world for Ms. Psaki to stand up and say, well, there's 9,000 leases out there. Well, if they can't make money, or if you go invest your money there and then because of the government regulations or their slow walking permits or what have you, and all of this is happening, if she would go educate.
It can take years. So what you're saying essentially, Secretary, to that background noise is that dog don't hunt. So now, kidding, but now I'm beginning to wonder here, if it looks like this doesn't change and we kind of stick to these levels, oil could go prohibitively higher. Now, we know from experience, Secretary, that, it gets to a point where it gets so high that it's like a no-mas situation. It creeps into every facet of the economy. And then all of a sudden we've got a recession or worse, a meltdown. Now, that was a big story back in 2008 and 2009 when we went from $140 oil to about $30 a few months later. The financial collapse didn't help matters any. But it's all then about how much we can take this, absorb this, and consumers can deal with this. What does your gut tell you?
I wish I could tell you $200 oil was not in our future, but I can't say that. When I see what's going on in Ukraine, the absolute idea that we're out bargaining with madmen, whether it's in Iran, whether it's in Venezuela, Russia is sitting down at the table with us, dealing with the Iranians at this particular point in time. That makes absolutely no sense to me at all. So I said in an earlier interview that when you deal with madmen, when you spend that much time with madmen, not only is it a bad look, you have the potential to become one yourself. And I just think it is in the U.S. worst interest to be sitting down with Venezuela, to be sitting down with Iran, to be trying to negotiate with these individuals at this particular point in time, when the fact of the matter is the answer is right here, right in front of us.
Well, there can be an issue, right, of being too stubborn, right? And I mean, You know, you've been an advocate. I know we talked many, many times. You were all in on all energy ideas, not one at the detriment of the other. I think of states like, Louisiana. I had Senator Cassidy on earlier today talking about they're very big into wind and all these other, as they are natural gas and all, a major, major player in that field. So they're all in on all ideas. So it's not coming necessarily at the expense of green or traditional. It's all in on everything so that we have everything. Why can't we just do that?
That would be a good idea, Neil.
Yeah. All right. Rick Perry, a pleasure seeing you again, sir.